Have you ever felt like you are working hard, but nothing is changing? Have you ever felt like you are pushing a mountain, but it refuses to move even an inch? Most people give up when they don't see results. They think their sweat is wasted. They think their time is gone. But today, I will tell you a story that will change the way you look at your struggles. Once, in a kingdom far away, lived King Alaric. He was a wise man, but he was getting old. He needed a new personal bodyguard, someone who could protect him not just with a sword, but with a mind that never breaks. The king sent a message to every village. "I am looking for a hero. Come to the palace tomorrow morning." Hundreds of men came, but by the end of the day, only 2 remained. The first was Leo. Leo was a giant. His arms were as thick as tree trunks. The second was Kael. Kael was thin. He was quiet. He didn't have a big sword or expensive armor. He only had a pair of old boots and eyes that looked like they had seen many winters. The king led them to the back of the palace. There stood 2 identical massive rocks. They were as tall as houses and weighed thousands of pounds. The king smiled and said, "If you want to be my shadow, if you want to wear the royal cloak, you must do one thing. Every morning, from sunrise to sunset, you must push these rocks. Do this for 60 days. After 60 days, I will come back and see who is worthy." Leo laughed. "Push a rock? That is easy. I will push this rock to the next kingdom, my king." The next morning, the sun rose. Leo ran to his rock. He roared like a lion. He slammed his shoulders against the stone. He used all his muscle. He pushed so hard that his face turned red. But the rock did not move. Kael arrived quietly. He placed his hands on his rock. He took a deep breath. He pushed. He didn't roar. He just pushed. By noon, the sun was a ball of fire in the sky. Every drop of sweat felt like it was burning their skin. Leo was shouting in anger. "Move! Why won't you move?" He kicked the rock, hurting his toe. He was getting frustrated. Kael was also in pain. His muscles were screaming. His legs felt like they were made of lead. But every time he felt like stopping, he whispered to himself, "The king told me to push, so I will push." At the end of the first week, both men were covered in blisters. Their hands were raw. Leo was complaining to the palace servants. "This is a stupid test. A bodyguard should be fighting, not pushing a wall." Kael, however, spent his nights cleaning his wounds and sharpening his mind. He realized while the rock wasn't moving, his body was starting to feel different. On the 15th day, a strange man appeared. He was dressed in black silk and carried a small bottle. He approached Leo first. "Strong man," the merchant whispered, "why are you wasting your time? That rock is stuck in the ground with iron poles. It will never move. The king is playing a trick on you." Leo stopped. "I knew it. I knew it was impossible." The merchant smiled. "Take this potion. If you drink it, you will have the strength of 10 men for 1 hour. You can move the rock easily and win the prize." Leo was tempted, but the merchant asked for all of Leo's gold in return. Leo was greedy. He didn't want to give up his gold. He told the merchant to go away, but the seed of doubt was planted in his heart. Then the merchant went to Kael. "Young man, look at your hands. They are bleeding. Why push a rock that doesn't care about you? Come with me. I will give you a job where you can sit in the shade and earn more money than a bodyguard." Kael didn't even look at the merchant. He kept his shoulder against the cold stone. "The king gave me a task. My honor is not for sale." The merchant laughed. "You are a fool. You will die a skinny fool." By the 30th day, halfway through the challenge, Leo was done. He stopped pushing. He would sit under a tree near the rock and sleep. He would only push for 5 minutes when he saw a guard walking by. But Kael was pushing harder than ever. His body had changed. He was no longer thin. His back was wide, and his legs were like pillars of stone.
Leo became jealous. He hated seeing Kael's dedication. One night, while Kael was sleeping, Leo went to Kael's rock. He dug a deep hole in the dirt right in front of the rock and covered it with grass and leaves. "Tomorrow," Leo whispered, "when he pushes, he will fall into the hole and break his legs. Then I will be the only choice for the king." The next morning, Kael started pushing. Suddenly, the ground gave way. Kael fell hard. His ankle twisted, and he let out a cry of pain. Leo watched from the shadows, laughing. Now he will quit, Leo thought. But Kael didn't quit. He crawled out of the hole. He was limping. His ankle was swollen and blue. He sat on the ground for an hour, breathing through the pain. He didn't complain. He didn't look for who did it. He just focused on the task. Day 45. A huge storm hit the kingdom. The rain was so heavy you couldn't see your own hand. The wind was trying to blow the men away. Leo stayed inside the palace, drinking warm soup. "Only a madman would be out there today," he said. Out in the mud, Kael was fighting for his life. The ground was slippery. Every time he pushed, his feet would slide back. He was freezing. He was crying. The rain mixed with his tears. He stayed there for a long time, letting the rain soak him. He wanted to go home. He wanted to go back to his simple life. Day 60 arrived. The sun was bright and the birds were singing. Leo stood by his rock, looking clean and fresh. He had fixed his hair and put on his best clothes. He was ready to lie to the king. Kael arrived looking like a ghost. His clothes were torn. His skin was canned dark from the sun. He was covered in scars and dust. He looked exhausted, but his eyes were like diamonds. They were sharp and full of fire. The king walked into the garden. He looked at Leo's rock. It hadn't moved. Then he looked at Kael's rock. It also hadn't moved. Leo stepped forward. "My king, I have pushed this rock every day, but it is a magic rock. It cannot be moved. I am the strongest man here, so you should choose me." The king ignored Leo and walked up to Kael. Kael fell to his knees. "My king, I failed you. I pushed every day. I pushed through the rain, through the pain, and through the tricks. But look, the rock is exactly where it was 2 months ago. I am sorry." The king smiled. It was the kindest smile Kael had ever seen. "Kael," the king said, "look at yourself." The king pointed to a large mirror that the servants brought out. Kael looked. He didn't recognize the man in the mirror. 2 months ago, he was a weak, shy boy. Now he stood like a giant. His shoulders were massive. His arms were ripples of pure muscle. His posture was straight and confident. "Kael," the king said loudly so everyone could hear, "I never asked you to move the rock. I knew the rock was too heavy for any man to move. I didn't want you to change the rock. I wanted the rock to change you." The king looked at Leo. "Leo, you have the same body you had 60 days ago. You are lazy and you are a liar. Guards, take him away." The king then took off his own royal purple cloak, the symbol of power, and wrapped it around Kael's tired shoulders. "You didn't move the mountain, Kael, but in the process of pushing, you became a mountain yourself. From this day on, you are my chief bodyguard, the protector of the realm."